Hi everyone, so I am here doing a permanent color for this client. So I'm just draping her up with a towel and the chemical cape, getting her all comfy and seated and protected, preparing her for the chemical service to come. Great. So she has, I would say, like 60% grays. Her grays are mostly at her crown, on top of her head. She has about, what is that, like an inch and a half of new growth. The sides aren't that bad. It's more, the crown, etc. So I am here mixing her formulation. Honestly, I prefer to use a scale as opposed to a beaker to measure color. The scale is a bit more accurate. There is a bit of a delay, so it's just, and then you also need to be careful because sometimes, when you wait too long, the scale can time out, so it's just to look out for that. So her formulation was actually 4.20 from Farma Vita as well as 5.00. So she had the 4.2 for a little color, a little violet, a deep violet, and well, the neutral to fill in all those grays because violet by itself won't do that. So with Farma Vita, if it is gray coverage for 50 to 100% gray coverage, the mixing ratio is 50-50. So 50 for the target shade and 50 for the corresponding neutral. And I am mixing it with 20 vol developer, also 1:1 for a more pigmented deposit. So I recently got this Framar Whisk. It is amazing. I mean, I can't use a kitchen whisk, a regular kitchen whisk because of the wires, but the Framar Whisk has the silicone coated wires, so it's safe. It wouldn't affect your chemical formulation. And I prefer a whisk to mix because you could get in all the nooks and crannies in the bowl, and I'm just wiping off the excess from the whisk with my Big Daddy Framar brush. So I am gloving up and getting prepared to apply the color, and be sure to follow ALMT group and Curli Beauty on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so I was saying that I like to, oh, okay. So I am actually using Saphira the One. This is their 10-in-1 benefit spray. So it is a porosity equalizer. So you can use it before a color service just to, have an even canvas for the color to be applied on. So I'm just here sectioning her hair off. Her hair is short, so sometimes with short hair it could be a bit challenging to section also, and she does have a bit of a cowlick on her crown as well. And there I am starting to apply. So you usually apply to the most resistant areas first, and I am doing her perimeter because obviously generally with gray coverage the perimeter is the first to be seen, and you want that, if anything you want covered is your perimeter. So along the hairline, the part line, make sure the deposit there is the longest, so to ensure proper coverage. yes, as I was saying, the back to the Framar whisk. So yes, so I guess the barbs, I don't know what to call them, are coated with silicone, so it will not affect your color formulation. And because it has a round shape, it could get into the nooks and crannies of the bowl. Generally, bowls are round as well. I find when I'm using a brush to mix a formulation, a regular color brush, it doesn't always get into the mixture, if you know what I mean. Like there's always some product that isn't mixed fully. So the whisk helps tremendously. And again, measuring on a scale, so you're literally just pouring out or dispensing the product and just weighing it out accordingly. Again, you just kind of need to be quick because the scale could time out and there is sometimes a bit of a delay. So you do put product, but sometimes the scale just takes a couple seconds to catch up. So just be wary of that. And it's less things to wash. You don't have to wash the beaker. There isn't any product residue or product remnants in your beaker. So you know you're sure you're getting the full formulation. So it's a little bit more accurate, which I could appreciate. And yes, Saphira, the one that multi-benefit mask is one of my favorite products ever. I just wish it was bigger. I mean, that is the full size. The full size is 5.1 ounces, and I think the travel size is 3 ounces, both of which are available on almtgroup.com if you're interested in purchasing. So yes, I just wish it was a bigger bottle because I love it so very much. Yes, so you could use it with chemical services for porosity equalization. As I said, it's a nice detangler, it's a moisturizer, it has UV and heat protection up to I think 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and split end mender. It does a lot of things, so it is literally the one. If you need anything, the one. It is amazing. So it could be used professionally at the back bar, obviously before a chemical service, which I did, or you could use it in your regular styling routine, daily moisturizing, etc. So you could use it, before you get into the chlorine in a pool, or before you go to the beach, or just to detangle at night or during the day, whatever. If you want to refresh your curls, sometimes you have bed hair. After a night, you tie up your hair with a hopefully a satin scrunchie and a silk satin bonnet as well, and then when you get up in the morning you have a bit of bed hair. It's just to put some life back into your curls with a couple spritzes of the one. So product plug there. Yes, so it seems like I'm at the back, which is good. I really need to get one of those color stations. So I know they have them from Framar as well. The one from Framar actually kind of folds, so it's easy to travel with and easy to store away. So that's probably something I'll invest in soon. Yeah, instead of holding the bowl the entire time. But it's fine. I'm working with what I have. Yeah, so applying color isn't exactly the most exhilarating, exciting thing to witness, but hey, we're here, we're together, appreciating it to the max. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, ALMT Group Beauty, where you can get longer length videos, hopefully all of the styling and other chemical services to come, so you'll see the entire transformation from start to finish. Oh, great. I finally finished applying the color and I am letting it sit for 35 minutes after application. Yeah, there we go. Timer set. And she is rinsed. And I'm just removing the excess water from her hair by towel drying lightly. And I'm gonna bring you guys in closer to see the results. Of course, wet hair is generally darker, but you're gonna see that she is totally covered. Those grays are gone. Yes, they are out of hair. Nice, nice, nice. Great. So I'm just gonna swap out her towel with a neck strip. I mean, the towel is there for protection, you know, you don't want the client directly interacting with the capes, etc. Their skin directly interacting with the capes is always good to have a bit of a barrier. And I am using my BaBylissPRO Nano Titanium Dryer to style. Yes, so I was saying, you want a barrier between the client's skin and the capes. Oh, and I'm going back in with the one. Yes, so detangler, moisturizer, UV and heat protection, and just combing it through to distribute the product evenly throughout the head. Yeah. And I should be going into blow dry. So generally for a blow dry, you want to try to remove as much excess water as you can before you actually like go in with the round brush. You know, it doesn't make sense, you know, you're pulling and tugging forever, hurting up your shoulder, hurting up your wrist when the hair is just way too wet. You need to get it, well, of course, depending on the porosity of the hair, the texture of the hair, the curl type, etc. Depends how much water you would actually leave in the hair. And I'm going into blow dry with my NanoThermic Olivia Garden round brushes. I think that is the NT35 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you wanna, of course, depending on the client's hair type, that will determine how much water you would leave in the hair. So in the case of my hair, how my hair is curly and dry, generally you would leave it as wet as possible. So like maybe 80%, you're leaving like 80% of the moisture, because when the hair is dry, the hair is set. So, and my hair just sucks up moisture like a vacuum. So leaving it, in my case, you'd leave my hair like 80% wet. In her case, you could take out probably 50, you can remove 50 to 80% of the moisture before going in with the round brush, because her hair, she has a slight wave, nothing crazy. So it's not really necessary to leave a whole set of water in her hair. It's not necessary. But in other cases, it would be. In my case, if I was blow dry my hair, I would leave in more moisture. In her case, not so much. Right, so excuse me. Right, so you always want to put a barrier between the client's skin and the capes. So generally we do that with towels. We drape with towels and the capes. The towels, of course, when you're at the sink, it helps, you know, absorb any water that might, you know, run down the neck, etc. So that's why I had to change her towel out after we washed out the color. But once you're not dealing with water, you could go in with a neck strip. So a lot of barbers use neck strips. If you're just going to do a cut, you could use a neck strip once it's a water-free service. pardon me, a water-free surface, you could go in with an neck strip. Because, you know, I mean, obviously with towels, it's a lot of bulk, it could be a lot of bulk, and then obviously once you use a towel, you have to wash it. So if you don't need to use a towel, you don't have to. And then neck strips are pretty inexpensive and disposable, so you know, you use them and you just dispose of them when you're through, so you're good to go. So I am going in with the BaBylissPRO Nano Titanium Dryer and the Olivia Garden NT, I believe, again 35 round brush throughout her head, giving her a bit of volume. Generally for blow drying, I do prefer round brushes. You get that tension, you get to wrap the hair around the brush. Well, in her case, she doesn't have that much length, but with longer hair, especially textured hair, especially curly hair, you need that pull and tug. Oh, and seems like her hair is dry, and I'm finishing with the Saphira Sculpting Lotion. So it has a kind of jelly consistency, not a total gel, but yeah. And it does have a medium hold, so I'm just finishing up with that. I also love Saphira's pomade. That one, you get a stronger hold. Generally, I would use that for my edges, or if I'm like doing a sleek bun or a sleek style. Excuse me. I would use the pomade. But in her case, I mean, it was late evening. She was going to bed, just a little bit of styler, you know, for finishing. And yeah, she is through. Thank you, lovelies. Don't forget to subscribe.